I'm John Gibson. I'm Director of Studies in Preclinical Veterinary Medicine and also in Physiology here at Clare College. I give tutorials to vets, medics and natural scientists in physiology, and I'm a lecturer at the vet school, where I focus mainly on animal breeding. Firstly, thank you for your interest. I'm sorry not to see you in person, but I hope that the following presentation tells you what you want to know. If there is anything at all extra that I can help you with, please get in touch by email or telephone. My contact details should be easy to find on the college website and on the slides which follow. A veterinary degree offers a fantastic opportunity and you are right to be interested. Obviously it allows you to practice, but it also leads to a huge variety of other careers, many of which will not have occurred to you yet. It provides experience in a wide range of sciences, all aimed at understanding how animals work, how they go wrong, and how to correct them when they do, allied with practical and communication skills. A biochemistry degree, for example, offers biochemistry. By contrast, a veterinary degree will give you biochemistry, plus anatomy. It's actually really useful to know how parts of the body fit and function together. And physiology, pharmacology, pathology, anaesthesia, surgery, plus communication and practical skills. Cambridge is just one of 8 or so UK Irish vet schools. We're sometimes ranked first, sometimes not, but actually this is really misleading because all the UK schools are very highly rated and there is only a small difference in rating between any of them. They will all give you an excellent veterinary degree which will equip you with the perfect background for practice. I am not here to disparage any of them. They really are all fine. They have to be because the Royal College goes round all of them every few years and checks their teaching, facilities, staff, students, exams and so forth. You can be reassured that any of them will provide you with a first-rate veterinary education. What I want to do here is to point out where Cambridge is different and why you might like to choose to apply to us. Or not. I'm equally happy if the following information persuades you to prefer one of the other schools. That's absolutely fine. You're on a fact-finding mission to inform your future career. I hope that it is with us in Cambridge and with Clare, but you might justifiably choose otherwise. My presentation follows, and I'm particularly grateful to Dr. David Bainbridge, our clinical veterinary anatomist and a Fellow of St Catherine's College, for providing the slides. My talk is divided into 3. The longest part is the first, to tell you why Cambridge differs from other vet schools. The second is what is in the course, just quickly, pointing out any major differences with other schools, although most by necessity cover the same core subjects. And the third part is how to get in, hopefully making it transparent how we choose. As I say, please don't hesitate to get in touch if I'm not clear on any aspects. I'll go fairly quickly from now on, as you can always revisit the presentation later if you wish. Is Cambridge the best course for you? You get 4 UCAS choices for vet medicine. You need a good reason to choose Cambridge as one of those 4. There is strong competition. Cambridge courses are longer, more expensive, harder to get into, overly full of posh people. You might be told that we lack sufficient practical coursework. So our graduates are simply poor first-day vets in both senses of the word. You should avoid it. That's fine, except all but one of those statements are palpably not true. It is true that we have a 6-year course, aside from for graduates, that's true. The other statements are simply wrong, as I hope to show you. But Cambridge does not suit everyone. Different vet schools have different strengths and weaknesses, although all are first-rate, and I will have done my job if what I say persuades you against applying to us just as much as if it does the opposite. However, because you cannot come here in person and meet our students, before I go into more detail, I want to tell you that our students will be just like you, as you would realise if you were here. We are only looking for academic potential, nothing else. I now want to focus next on what makes Cambridge different and why you might choose it. Practical focus. Yes, you'll do animal handling here from the first week, including exotics, You'll have live anatomy classes to auscultate cattle, sheep, dogs, horses, etc. You'll dissect a whole dog yourselves, not look at pro-dissected specimens. You'll dissect other animals too. There are full practicals over the clinical years, culminating in a lecture-free final year, during which you rotate through the various specialties, farm, equine anaesthesia, and so on. By the time you reach the middle of the 6th year, you'll be doing the work of a qualified vet. Because we are small, we can offer an incredible hands-on experience. I should also give a special mention here to our Clinical Skills Centre, into which we've put a lot of resources, and where you are taught various practical procedures like suturing, intubation, ultrasound, rectal examination, and so on, and which you can also access yourselves in your own time, so long as it's not being used for classes. Science. We are the UK vet course with by far the most science content, and at a very rigorous level. This is not to make you suffer or to persuade you to be scientists, although some of you will. One Health applies here, as in most places. Vets, medics, natural scientists are all working towards one overarching goal. We really believe, and it is true, that the more science underpinning that you can achieve, the better clinical vet you will be. The first 3 years are the only time that you will really study science in such rigorous depth, and it needs to last potentially for your whole career. The more you can understand fundamental processes from biochemistry through physiology, pathology, pharmacology, the better you will be equipped in your future careers. However, if you don't like science, you'll find the first 3 years here a hard slog. Cambridge experience. We are a collegiate university. The college provides a special environment, supportive and welcoming, provides all social, sportive, artistic opportunities as well as academic. It provides accommodation and meals. College also gives you small group teaching, called supervisions in Cambridge, tutorials in Oxford. These are weekly sessions in each of your main subjects, so 3 or 4 a week with an academic expert in the field. You can ask us things, we can ask you. We know how you are doing. We help each other. We learn from you just as much as vice versa. I should say here a few words about choosing a college. In reality, it makes little difference, as all offer the same Cambridge educational experience. So do not agonise over college choice. Pick 2 or 3 that you like the look of, old or new, big or small, central or female only. Investigate them carefully, and I would advise you always contact the admissions tutor to ask if they prefer a particular pre-university experience. Otherwise, do not fret. In fact, around a third of our successful applicants are allocated to a college to which they did not originally apply because of our moderation procedures, which help to ensure that we really do take the best possible applicants, which is the sole and overriding aim of our admissions process. I'll come back to this later. Small. We are the smallest UK vet school, taking around 70 students. Small dissection groups, small rotation groups in clinical years, small group college supervisions, close contact with staff, a very high staff-student ratio. You're not part of a flock here, but a real valued individual. You cannot arrive in October, sink like a submarine, and emerge just to take the June exams. Because of this, we lose very, very few students. Central. The plot on the right shows travel time from the preclinical departments to the clinical vet schools. At Cambridge, you are still part of the town when doing your clinical veterinary years, and not isolated in a veterinary ghetto. This is a real advantage. Finances. The bottom line is that at Cambridge there should be no financial barrier to do anything that you want, obviously academically but also recreationally, regardless of your financial background. Facilities are free or heavily subsidised. College and university run societies in most disciplines that you can think of, usually free. There are no travel costs. You can walk or cycle everywhere. Colleges have hardship funds. We also pay you when you are doing your 6 months of clinical extramural studies, which no other vet school provides. The extra year, a 6th year of tutorial fees, is simply not one that should be a factor in your choice of UCAS applications. What's in the course? Part 2. This will be brief, as all vet schools address very similar core curricula, of necessity, as they are required to do so by the Royal College, to produce qualified vets with a complete range of competencies from day one. You qualify with a licence to practice from whichever vet school you attend. Year 1, Animal Management, Anatomy, Physiology, Biochemistry. Year 2, Pathology, Pharmacology, Reproduction, Neurophysiology, Comparative Anatomy. I should also point out, aside from vet-specific subjects like anatomy, Years 1 and 2 are taught along with medics and sometimes with natural scientists. There is a positive reason for this. We're all animals, one health again. Our biology is very similar. Also, having a large cohort allows the university to accord greater resources. For physiology, for example, here you might have 3 or 4 staff teaching renal function. Elsewhere, perhaps 3 or 4 staff will teach the whole of the physiology course. 3rd year, even more science. This is the so-called Part 2 year, in which you specialise in a science of your choice and go into a relatively small field in more detail. You'll get a science degree at the end of it, in addition to your vet degree at the end of the full 6 years. It should be really fun, because you specialise and it's your choice. The year is also full of critical skills. So how to assess scientific papers, analyse data, present it, all highly transferable skills which are relevant to your science course, but also readily applicable to clinical work or anything else really. We think that it is a fantastic opportunity and really improves the quality of our graduates. 4th year. Science is taken into practice. The subjects get progressively more applied. 5th year. More clinical work. RSPCA clinics, practicals and the like. 6th year. A little more about this, as it is a key transition in your development. You have lecture-free rotations through all the main veterinary disciplines, which you do in small groups of 3 to 6 students. You have your own caseload. You'll be taking histories from clients, working up differential diagnoses, doing the diagnostic tests, carrying out the treatments, writing discharge letters. You'll do a designated number of clinical things like nerve blocks, through general anaesthetics, through surgery such as cat space. We can offer this hands-on experience because we are a small vet school, but it does essentially mean in the last 6 months you're actually functioning as a qualified vet. Qualification, of course, is just the start of your career. As I say, a veterinary degree enables you to do a wide variety of jobs, and really you're limited only by your imagination. There are a lot of varied careers out there for you. Part 3, how to get in. We are looking for scientific clinical potential, taking most weight on post-16 performance. You must be able to discuss vet work as it is a vocational course, but we are not expecting a huge amount of veterinary experience, although we know that other vet schools stipulate so many weeks of this and that, so inevitably many of you will have carried out more work experience than we require. We want quality of work experience rather than quantity. Think about what you see and go into it in as much detail as you possibly can. We don't use role-playing, group working, etc. as interview. We are solely interested in your academic potential, how it fits in with a course in veterinary medicine at Cambridge. The numbers game. We take about 70 vet students and we have about 400 applicants. So a 1 in 5 to 6 chance, actually much better than UK vet schools in general. In addition, most applicants will be interviewed, so you will have every chance to show your worth. We'd only decline an interview if it was clear from your academic record that there was no possibility of you being offered a place. In some ways, it is easier to get into Cambridge than other vet schools, but you must be good at science, maths. Reapplicants are welcome, but always ask the admissions tutor before applying. And I stress again that our sole criterion is academic potential. We're not interested in extracurricular activities per se, or what school you have been to, or your family background. Selection criteria. Post age 16 potential, mainly. Interview, the Natural Sciences admissions test, which you take in November. GCSEs, work experience. All of these are taken into account. The Natural Sciences admissions assessment is based on GCSE level science and maths, but extrapolations are expected and there is time pressure, so it is well worth practicing this. We also look at GCSEs to see if candidates are improving. We do not focus much on work experience, but of course we will want to see that you have an understanding of the vocational nature of the job. Personal statements are not scored as such, though they may form part of the interview, and I'll say more about this later. Our typical offer for A-levels will be A-star AA, across 3 sciences / maths. Note psychology and some other subjects are not counted as sciences. Check with the admissions tutor if your choices are slightly different from typical. It is possible to get in with the minimum requirement, which is not high and is listed in the website, but it will be more difficult because you'll be competing against candidates with a full set of science, maths, A-levels, or the equivalent. Interview. This is the part of the admissions process which bothers more people than the others, but really it shouldn't. Most colleges will offer 2 20 to 30 minute interviews with 2 academics. We're looking for enthusiasm, inquisitiveness, your ability to think about novel concepts, and to extrapolate. We're not looking to test knowledge per se, your exams have done that for us. We want to see how well you think, how you'll fit in with the course that we offer. We're not looking to catch you out. Quite often questions are open-ended, so there's no single correct answer as such. There are no trick questions, and we really want you to give your best. So whilst everyone is going to be nervous, you're really there to present yourself in the best light, so be honest and enjoy it as much as you can. And remember, the interview is only one part of the admissions process, and a great weight is placed on academic record, your references, and your potential. The interview is not something that you can particularly prepare for as such. Your experience and curiosity over the previous 5 to 10 years has been your preparation. But of course, be prepared to discuss your personal statement. Be prepared to discuss some aspect of veterinary experience. It doesn't mean that you need to know everything about veterinary life, but you must know something about some of it because you've chosen that as a vocational course. Be prepared to talk about science, especially outside of what you do during the school curricula. Candidates often enjoy their Cambridge interviews, really. And no single poor answer is going to lose you a place. No single great answer is going to gain you a place. We're really looking to match your paper record with how you are as a person. My final bit of advice to you about interviews would be, if you're not confident about talking to people you don't know, find somebody, a teacher who you're not familiar with, parent of a friend, and get used to just talking to them asking you some questions. Over 10-15 minutes. And it could be on any subject whatsoever. So you get used to thinking on your feet and articulating your views. Finally, be positive. Somebody has to get a place, and it may well be you. So if you're good at science/maths, this is not a difficult course to get onto. So if it's what you want, go for it, and I wish you the very best of luck.